Okay, welcome to our talk, how you can contribute to high-quality Linux documentation. My name is Maike Schabowski. I'm working for SUSE for 25 years now. First as a product marketeer, and since 2016, I'm the documentation strategist in the SUSE Doc team. And with me is Julia Faltenbacher.
Yes, hello. So yeah, my name is Julia. Also a very warm welcome to you and very brave of you being here after lunch. I'm a technical writer and translator. I joined SUSE 4 years ago. Have been with the SUSE documentation team since then. And I'm responsible for the localization of our product documentation and our company-wide terminology database. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, and before we dive into the session, we have prepared a little quiz for you to wake up. So, what do you think? How many HTML pages, just HTML pages, of documentation do we create and maintain in our documentation team? You can just shout in your guess.
I'm going to say 30,000.
30,000?
Not bad.
A little bit higher, 42,000.
42,000?
That's great.
Woo!
Yeah, you won.
Sorry, I told you I cannot really. And you said 30,000. You also got one.
That was great as well.
Great.
So yes, it's actually 45,000. So
yeah.
Very close. HTML pages, and then we also have roughly 1,200 deliverables in PDF format. So yeah, it's quite a lot that we handle.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, quite a number, I would also say.
You mentioned translation. Does the 45,000 include the translation?
Yeah,
yeah.
It does. Mm-hmm. So yeah, during the next few minutes, you will hear about who is at your service here, what kind of documentation we provide for you. Going forward, you hopefully get an idea of how big parts of the SUSE documentation is created. But most importantly, you will see how you can get involved here in the creation of the different types of docs. And please feel free to shoot your questions like you already did. That's really great. And please bear with me that I'm sitting, but I had a hip surgery not too long ago, and standing all the time is really boring. Okay, now as you should, whom you are talking to, please meet the doc department. So we are a very diverse department with 2 different teams of writers and some cross-team functions also spread over the US, Canada, Taiwan, India, Czech Republic, and Germany, and also Spain. You can meet different smart people here. We have journalists, humanists, chemists, biologists, what else? Physicists, linguists, and the one or other technical writer also. Yeah, we understand that documentation is an essential part of a product, of any product. Above all, when it comes to software. Unfortunately, this opinion is not really necessarily widespread. So I recently heard people talking about documentation being just a cost factor, could be outsourced, delivering no return on investment. And not too long ago, I had a conversation with a consultant, and he told me, well, every piece of software should be so intuitively usable that no docs are needed. That would be perfect, but we are not living in a perfect world. I think I don't tell you news here. So most products need good documentation, especially complex solutions like ours. They suffer from missing or poor documentation, and when you work as you work in IT departments and you are responsible for a functioning environment, this can really impact your daily work and even the success of your entire business. I also think I'm not telling you news here. So our high-flying wish to the entire open source community is really document all the things. We try to contribute our part, and our demand to ourselves is really to deliver high-quality docs, high-quality translation services to provide added value and at the end to make you be satisfied. So there's a broad variety of tasks and responsibilities for the documentation department. Here's a quick overview. So we have different kinds, release notes. We have the well-known usual product documentation, topic-based articles, technical reference documentation, best practices, and the localization and terminology department or team. You will hear about all of them, but I wanted to have you have a look at the tool chain here. This is really so we maintain and develop our own tool chain. This will be also important if you want to contribute yourself. So now let's have a closer look at the types of documentation. And Julia will start with that.
Yeah, we'll start with the product release notes. Well, as you all know, release notes inform about new features, improvements, issues resolved of any new update or new release. And they just briefly list and explain all the new features. And yeah, so they don't go as much into detail as the user guides do, and yeah, can therefore be seen as like a first go-to source for technical information. Yes, and then we also have the classic style product documentation, what you can see here. So this is our hugest, this includes our huge user guides, like for example the administration guide with like 700 pages even. They go into detail explaining all the features, functionalities of the software. And yeah, this is the largest work, as I said, of our daily work. And yeah, we have been providing this type of classic style documentation for many, many years now. But recent surveys, so we're running surveys regularly. Actually, we just started a new survey, so if you want to share your feedback, you can please contribute to our current survey.
I don't let you out of the room without doing it.
Yeah, so these survey results have shown that this classic style documentation do not suit the needs and preferences of your customers and partners, how you nowadays consult documentation. Yeah, and so as we listen carefully to the feedback, you want back, please,
Oops.
Michael? Eins zurück. Thank you. Yeah, as we listen carefully to this feedback, we came up with a new approach how we can make our classic style user documentation even more user-friendly and easier to consume. And now, thank you. So this is our new approach to topic-based articles, which we also call smart docs. These are short and crisp, and they address a specific use case or answer a specific question. So these are way more easy to consume. They can also be processed easily by AI tools. Yes, and also, of course, this helps for better search engine optimization. So we already see that our topic-based articles rank way higher in search engines. So next time you'll be searching for an answer, you hopefully find it way more easily and quickly as in former times with our user guides. Yes, please.
Can I ask a question or provide some feedback or observation?
Of course.
So I work for a partner. I'm in technical sales. I've probably spent countless hours on the partner portal as well as Googling different things. What I've noticed is most of the documentation is administrator heavy or release note heavy. There's very little technical architecture docs. The partner portal, and I'll talk to the SUSE reps or technical folks, and they're like, no, we have it in the partner portal. I've spent dozens of hours in the partner portal. It doesn't exist. You guys have a separate repository for internal employees than you do partners. And one piece of observation is one thing that VMware did very well, whether you like the product or not. They had categories. They had technical docs, they had user notes, but then they had validated design,
Yes.
architectural docs.
And you
Earlier, I saw you had technical references.
exactly
Yeah.
become
I was waiting for that. to hit.
exactly.
As a
You have a
partner, that's
very
really-
valid point.
Yeah.
And if you're in this hybrid technical sales role, I don't need the release notes.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then-
you know, customer.
But look, the marketing material, also the other thing is, not to kind of be too honest, but there's discrepancies and inconsistencies in your own documentation. I've received documentation that I've pulled and I'm like, okay, simple things like definition. The way you guys were licensing, Rancher was based on the definition of an object or a pod, or within a pod there would be an instance, right? So you had multiple different definitions.
Okay.
So just giving you that.
That's
feedback.
really good feedback. I would also encourage you to take the survey because we are also asking such things, and there's a lot of there are options to put in a free text. So it would be very nice if you could address that there also. We are taking that with us. Definitions, licensing, and so on is done by product management. So we will address that with them. But please, please, please be so kind and fill out the survey, really. Also for specific products. So the survey is going really into product details. So you can specify which products you are using and where you have the issues with. That would be so helpful. And really, we listen to customers and we adjust things that do not work well. That's our goal. That's the reason why we do these things here.
This is actually something I'm working on too, is more of the engineering documentation. Here's how it actually works underneath the covers, here's what this setting does, here's the data flow. A lot of that documentation just doesn't exist. It's all tribal knowledge today.
Yeah, and we come to that also. We come to the tribal knowledge.
Right, it's not partner sharing, right?
That's not as much as you really think it is. At least I don't know on the SUSE side of the house, on the Rancher side of the house, it's all.
Okay. got it.
Yeah. Okay, but we come to that also. You will see.
I'll tell you, if you have, like, Forbes Guthrie or whatever his name was, came from VMware, right? Like, all you got to do is go ask him, like, hey, how did the VMware documentation look for a validated design reference
Yes.
architecture? I mean, you had visuals and diagrams and just pages of detailed information, and searching is like nebulous.
Yeah. Really, come also to our demo kiosks and let's have this discussion. So I will show you something a bit later, and that might go in the direction and help. And if we then can get your feedback and probably your support here, that would be marvelous. Okay, Julia?
Okay, yeah. So coming back to the topic-based articles. So our plan is to more and more move towards these topic-based articles in the future. We already have published several.
Are we loud enough? Is it okay for you?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, so we really hope that in future you will find the information you will need quickly at your fingertips. And as said, if not, please just share this feedback, what you're missing. Okay, yeah, here is an example of such a topic-based article. So at the beginning, you find a short introduction. So, for example, what clarifies the underlying concept of the feature that is described, then why you can also learn about the use cases or that is described in the article. And sometimes even some articles have a goal so that you can see what you will achieve when following the instructions. And just reading through this short information, you can already decide, is this what I have been looking for? Is this article going to answer my question, or do I have to look out for another article? And then you can dive deeper into it.
Yeah. Okay, so now we come to one topic that might help you also and where we need your help. This is the SUSE Best Practices. Yeah, they are a series of documentation that consolidate scattered pieces of information, tribal knowledge, yeah, that contribute to the successful implementations. These are tech notes or any other tribal knowledge you have, right? They are usually based on real-world scenarios, real implementations on site. They provide tech info about stuff that is
public facing?
Yes, definitely. And I'm responsible for it, and I'm happy for any contribution from our entire universe. Ooh. So they serve as an addition to the usual product reference guides, for example. Yeah. They may also cross boundaries, so they can incorporate information that is related to non-SUSE products, partner products. They can include, but they are not limited to a specific, not prevalent, but repeatable setup. The installation of third-party software on top of SUSE stuff, a stacked solution with SUSE products, newly tested step-by-step procedure, you name it, what else comes to your mind. Best practices are really open to every topic. They are not written by us. We cannot do that because we are not the experts out in the field. They are written by consultants, by partners, by customers, and we take them and help with everything that is needed to provide you a really good published document. So that's so important, and we need help from experts here. And then there is the technical reference documentation, and that is to your point. They provide guidance for solutions that address real-world use cases with featured SUSE and partner components, software, hardware, whatever. Yeah, these documents are modular. All source files are available publicly on GitHub, and the documents are, of course, also available from our doc portal under a special tab, Technical Documentation Reference documentation, sorry. Oh. For the TRDs, we currently have 3 different types. There are the getting started guides that provide an introduction for a solution and feature step-by-step guidance for installation and configuration with another component, hardware, software, even SUSE. A reference implementation is an introductory architectural approach and the basis for the deployment of a solution within the SUSE portfolio. And the reference configuration combines reference implementation with specified partner components also. The TRDs are owned and content-wise created by a group of SUSE experts working in the global alliances together with a partner. And our colleagues Terry Smith and Ryan Gardner, they are also here at the conference, and we can also set something up with them. So you could have a discussion with them, what you need, for example, and we happily take that and create the documentation for that. So I think that would address big parts of your concern.
That's great.
Right? Okay, so happy we spoke about it. There's also a contributors guide published, available from our doc portal, where you can also take the information and create a paper. Usually you don't do it alone before talking to us, but the option exists also. And now let's have a look at our workflow, tools and processes. I think we need to speed a bit up here, but anyways, let's have a look. As I joined the doc team as kind of an alien from the outside several years ago, I would like to share some thoughts here. I assume, just like me, not many people is thinking about how documentation is created, and you don't reflect about it, you just take the docs, right? But I never thought to find such a streamlined way. Don't be shocked now. I know it looks interesting. I tried to visualize it here. But we are going into more details now. It all starts with a request, documentation request. And be careful, you can really do a request yourself. We have Jira. This is an internal tool we use for our feature requirements tracking. You can always submit something via Bugzilla, the bug tracking tool, even if you have ideas for documentation that is missing, chapters, typos, paragraphs, more in detail stuff, just let us know. You can open a bug for that. GitHub issues. For many of the documents, just open a GitHub issue. It really comes directly to us and helps us. And if you don't want to use any of those, a simple email does it as well. So then we create the infrastructure in GitHub. This is our standard version control system. The great thing is that our developers also use it, and we are developing stuff together on the same versioning tool. It hosts our documentation sources, and it is all publicly available. We do not hide anything here. For us, it's the really perfect collaboration tool. Our superstar, DAPS, Docbook Authoring and Publishing Suite. In short, as I said, DAPS. It's a command line tool for any modern Linux, not only us, not only SUSE. And it was invented by our own documentation director, Frank Sundermeier. He's also here at the show. It's released at open source. So it supports technical writing challenges at any stage. So the entire editing, translation, publishing process is all supported by DAPS. It supports DocBook XML sources, which is our main format. I come to that. But also ASCII-Doc, which is easier for external contributors. It lets us publish in different formats, output formats like PDF, HTML, single HTML, text, even man pages. If we would like to do that, we can. And DAPS also allows us to manage all the key related tasks like tagging stuff for translation and so on and so forth. It's really a cool tool. Now, what do you think were all the information?
You guys use DAPS, is that, so obviously you got your documentation in GitHub, DAPS creates the final product. Is that also, how do you get that pushed to the portal, to the?
We have our doc server. We have an own doc server where we are also coming to that quickly later, where we push it on and then it is synced to the public server.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a semi-automated process.
Okay.
And once a week usually, or if it is needed, we also publish more often.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the content, how is it created? I always was under the impression when I was not yet in documentation, well, it all comes from the original software developer, and my colleagues here in documentation just have to take it and write it down in an understandable way, yes? Yeah, I quickly learned truth is different, reality is completely different, yeah? The software developers, you all know that, they have tight schedules. They are under pressure, they have to deliver their code in time, high quality code. Developers mostly, they are geniuses in writing code, but not necessarily in explaining it, am I right? So what's more, ready to use documentation needs to be ready 8 weeks before general availability because it needs to be translated, and this also takes a time. So it's really quite a thing. My doc colleagues had to learn how to deal with the pressure and the lack of information flow, and they made a virtue out of the necessity. They started to download not the raw software, the semi-finished or finalized software and implemented their own virtual machines, tested the stuff, found bugs, and so on and so forth. And this is their normal procedure nowadays. So they are really great tech people. So our main document format, I mentioned it, is DocBook XML. I had to learn it from scratch, but I am a huge fan of it because it clearly talks to you. It explains everything you do wrongly. But as we wanted to extend our contributions, we opened the entire toolchain up to AsciiDoc. And DocBook or DAPS can now really proceed everything the same way. Julia,
yes.
This is for you.
Any questions? No? Okay.
Well, are you going to get to diagrams? Like what's your format for diagrams?
You can come to our booth, talk to Jana. She's doing the diagrams. I'm not quite sure.
SVG?
SVG. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so let's see. Here you can see a user guide, some of our smart docs articles, new articles, a SUSE Best Practice, and also HTML format, PDF format. And as you can see, they all require and have a different layout. Yeah, of course, an entire article or an article needs a different layout than a user guide and PDF and HTML. So we use XLT style sheets for that. And yeah, we also create and maintain these style sheets ourselves. And then during the writing and editing process, we frequently build this documentation so that we can, we build it with DAPS, what Mike had just explained, so we can also validate and detect errors quickly already in draft stage. And then, of course, also we do daily builds almost, so that we can send this draft documentation to tech experts, to our colleagues for peer review or to language review. And and then we also have some draft builds that is mainly for the SUSE Beta program, which is published on SUSE GitHub.io. And then
you can access it also if you want to see draft documentation. So it's all open.
Yeah. And then the final documentation that is published on suse.documentation.com. That is built weekly or upon request, whenever needed. Okay, yes.
Okay, so translation?
Translation. That's my part. So our product documentation is translated into up to 13 languages. And these translations are provided with each release. We usually don't do update translations of older releases. So if you want to have the newest information for an older release, you will have to refer to the English docs. Yeah, the translated documentation is also published on our documentation portal, documentation.suse.com. And our translators work with professional translation memory tools, such as Weblate, for example, a browser-based open source translation memory tool. And here they also adhere to our style guide rules and to our terminology database.
Now, you learned about the tool chain. Now we come to the point how you can contribute. Attention, we are talking here mainly about Linux, the Linux part. If you want to know more about the Rancher side, Nuno do Carmo has talks this afternoon, and we'll cover that also a bit. So we spoke about the SBP and TRDs before in detail, so please, please, please think about if you can and want to contribute here. Many options. Come to the booth and talk to me. You can also contribute to the usual product documentation. In all of our HTML documents, we have such tiny little buttons you find there. Yeah? So this icon with the triangle here stands for report an issue. If you click it, you directly go into a Bugzilla. It opens a Bugzilla report, and you can write what is wrong, what you are missing, whatever. So this is really easy to do. Provide as much information as possible here. Then click the submit button. I really don't think I have to explain it too much. You see it here. We will get a bug report and can fix the issue. For reporting an issue with the topic-based articles, it's the same procedure. Do just the same. Yeah. For SUSE Best Practices and the technical reference documentation, it's a bit different. This leads you to the GitHub issues. Also to the correct documentation part. Just fill in your information and submit it, and we will contact you if anything is unclear. Usually you get at least something like, yes, got it, we are working on it, and then we keep you up to date. Then there's another small icon, really only in the HTMLs. That's the edit source document. Attention, again, this is only available for some of the product manuals and for the guides, but not for the SBPs. Yeah, some of the SBPs, not all of them, okay? If you dare to edit directly in the docbook source or in the ASCII doc source, this button brings you immediately into the respective section of the document, of the source document in the GitHub repo. You click the edit to access the source, make your change, add your content, whatever you want to do here. In our case, I have highlighted it, you see it. To preview your change and see the differences, click the preview button here, over there. So it's the light red thing. If you are happy with it, then click the green commit button on the top right over there. It brings you to the commit message section, which you see at the right bottom. Provide, again, as much information as you can here for your changes. Click create a new branch and give your branch a name. Click propose changes. This will create a pull request that comes to us. And don't worry, you cannot do anything wrongly here. You cannot mix something up or do or disturb something. There's a mechanism that saves that or prevents that. Okay, it's really easy to follow. For those documents where we don't have the edit source button, of course, you can also go directly into the GitHub repository. We've listed here really most of the repos that are important. Now as we work with the two different document formats, a quick closer look here at DocBook XML first. We had that before. Go to edit, make your changes, go to preview if you want, submit your changes. It's the same procedure, of course, but you do it directly from the repo yourself. The next example is the ASCII doc. Same procedure, edit, make your changes, submit them, and as I said, you cannot do something or anything wrongly. What is really nice about the ASCII doc is that it renders in GitHub correctly. It shows you really a very nice rendered version of the document, which is not possible with DocBook. But anyways, so you see it here side by side. You cannot only, Julia, contribute to...
Yeah, just in case. So you can not only contribute to our product documentation, but also to the localizations. You can even also contribute to some translations of some software user interface strings of some of our products for SUSE Linux Enterprise Server, for the components of Yast and Zipper, for example. So, and yes, showing here our translation memory tool, which I had mentioned before, as WebLate, which is a browser-based open source translation memory tool. And down here, for example, you see a translation project in Chinese for YAST, yes, for our YAST component. So you can also contribute here. You can either report an issue or even directly contribute to some translation projects. Some are publicly available. For this, you need an OpenSUSE account, and then which you can request at the link shown here, and then you can log into WebLate.
Okay.
Yes, and as mentioned before, we also maintain a company-wide terminology database, which is also publicly available. You will need your SUSE account for this, which you can request at the link shown below. If you don't have, if you have your SUSE account, you can directly log into suse.termweb.eu. And the first screen is showing how it will look when you log in. So you can switch the languages in the title bar. You can see all terms listed here in the hit list. So we currently have 2,800 terms in there. It's still growing. And as you can see here in the second screen, for example, it's not just a plain word list. Yeah, you also find a definition explaining the concept behind. You can find some grammar information, which is needed for our translators, very important. You can also find context information, example sentences, and also all the language equivalents. So it's not just a plain word list, it's like a knowledge database and dictionary in one.
Yeah, and just come to our booth. So
so we really reached the end of our session. So yeah, let's quickly summarize the key takeaways. So there are many options how you can contribute to documentation, to our product documentation. We really hope we've made it easy for you. If you want to contribute to the classic style product documentation, you can use the report issue, edit source button, as Maike mentioned.
Yeah.
If you want to report for any other documentation, you can send it to us in any format you would like. We take them all. Yeah, just send it over, we take it, and we really listen to it and try to.
This is how you can, these are the other documentation talks that we will have. Very important, doc portal, the new doc portal is really the next. Is it the next? Yeah, it is the next. Right. And then I said Rancher, ECM stuff, Nuno do Carmo this afternoon. Tomorrow, 2 more sessions. It's worth going. Now if you have any feedback about documentation as you had already, and if you have more, please reach out to the docs team. Yeah? Really, we rely on your feedback. We take it serious. We have the survey on already. Take the time. It might take 10 minutes depending on how much products you are using. Give us the feedback and then send an email, whatever question you might have when you are at home. With regard to SBP and TRD, send an email directly to me. I'm happy to take that.
We are all happy.
We are all happy. If you don't know how to find us, contact your partner or account manager. They know how to find us, I can promise you. So with that, thank you very much for listening to us.